Hello.
Hello. Welcome back, Sam.
Welcome back from the dead. R.I.P. me.
How are you? Is this midsummer hangover
I mean,
treating you
look,
well?
yeah, I'm here in spirit right now. My body is catching up. Not only, was Midsummer Carnival yesterday. Happy Midsummer to those who celebrate. But before that, I had a 2-day basketball tournament, which is also a part of Midsummer, in which I may or may not have broken my finger.
Oh, shit. I can see is that like bruising underneath? Okay. Okay.
Not a visual medium, but
R.I.P.
Dan can attest that it looks pretty
It's
bad.
purple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that
Bless
looked up.
bless the first aid staff that was like, oh yeah, so you're gonna have to go ahead and get that scanned immediately. And I was like, honey, it is Midsummer Carnival tomorrow.
The doctor can wait.
I was like, I will eventually do that. But yeah, so that, and then just drank through the pain.
Beautiful.
Here we are. How are you?
Alive and well. I'm good. I have one story from the weekend which was quite traumatizing. I had my barber show me with his hands how hard and fast he fucks this girlfriend that he's going on a date with.
I mean, that kind of sounds hot if the barber
was
hot.
I'm one of those, like, don't speak to me kind of, like, in a barber situation. Like, I like just being in absolute silence and just, like, getting
Oh,
in
it's
and
not
out.
someone you know. It's a new barber.
I've had him a few times, but I just don't think we are familiar enough for him to demonstrate with his hands just, like, slapping together about him. Yeah, so that was very visceral. The entire.
Well, your first mistake was getting a straight barber. What's that about?
I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of a gay barber, to be honest. I haven't.
Really?
Yes. No, I haven't. Because I'm a bit cheap, Sam. I'm not going for the whole, like, bubbles and experience, like, while that's getting done. Maybe I should indulge at some point.
Is this shop one of those like bro barber shops? Do you get like a pale ale and a beard wax?
No, there's no. This is just like old school. Like, you get in the chair, you're done, you're out. There's no alcohol floating around. There's like weird classical music on, and you get in, get out. Yeah, so that's the vibe I hope for. I don't ask for the reenactments with the hands, but that's what I got.
Well, shout out to my barber Ange, who is a fierce lesbian, and can confirm that that is great and that everyone should have a fierce lesbian barber. And she has great stories, mainly about her neighbor, who is a creepy old man that just like sometimes lets himself in to her house,
to her home.
Why? Just for a drink. Because she's like, oh, we had a drink once, and and sometimes he just comes in now, and I'm like, and you need to call the police.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's literally breaking and entering.
But this is Anne. She's just like, oh no, he's lovely. I'm just like, you are a woman that lives on your own, and there is a man entering your home, and you do not even seem phased about it. Like, she's so chill.
Okay. Well, Andrew's a lot chiller than me because I'm not having a stranger come into my home. So I guess he's not a stranger anymore, but still.
No, but still. But also, I wouldn't fuck with her, so maybe he knows. He knows where the line is.
Shall we? We got a date today for Real Housewives of Sydney.
Yes, and
you
did, and you just saw my live reaction to the trailer that I hadn't seen.
I watched Sam watch it, so I just got to see some facial expressions while he indulged.
I was like, oh no, giant ice dick. Yep. Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
I mean, I'm just so glad that it's back. Looks fun. Jury's out on Martine, the new
the
girly.
I think she was called Princess of Double Bay. I saw in some kind of little release that went out. So I'm like, let's see if she lives up to
I think Cara from Australian Survivor might have a problem with that. The Duchess of Double Bay.
Oh, I do miss Cara. She was a good time.
She was great. Bring her back. And Jackie Gillies makes a surprise cameo, so I'm excited about that. Shine.
Yes, your rumors were true. I was hoping, it seems like it's a little lunch with Terry, but I was hoping it would be like she'd attend an event or something like that. But look, I'll take what I can get. So
It's just a lunch. Yeah, I want her like on the girls' trip. But she's a mother now. She's busy.
I'd love a few cameos from the old girls. Like have a Lydia or Gina pop in, or a Janet Roach down from Brisbane. Like let's see. Like I'd love that.
A Lydia's kitchen moment, perhaps.
Yes, go do a little class with her. That'd be great. Girls trip to Melbourne. Flip it like that time they did the Sydney trip and they went to
Oh, R.I.P. Figaro.
Oh yeah, that was devastating news.
Devastating
last
news.
Year. You met him, didn't you, when you did Lydia's Kitchen?
I did, and he was so sweet. And you could tell that he was, reaching the end of his time with us on this earth, but still had, still full of beans.
He was a star.
Yeah, he was the star. Also, so I'm super excited about it coming back Feb 24th. But these people at Binge /10/Bravo are trying to snatch my wig because I would like to cover all these shows on my podcast, and now they're all on at the same time. So I still don't know what the fuck I'm going to do yet, Dan, but we shall see.
Because we've got Traitors running through that. You're talking Survivor comes back, Brains versus Brawn, season 2, and then we've got Our D Girls on Binge, and then what was your other thing that's clashing?
Below Deck Down Under, which I really want to do, but I think if something has to go, let's be honest, it's going to be that. But I'll probably do it maybe just like a little mid-season check-in or something.
Yeah. I feel like Below Deck's one of those like binge shows, like you just want to like watch a whole bunch at once and then chat about it. Like that's what my love for like Below Deck started, was during one of the various lockdowns, and I'd never touched Below Deck before, and I just watched every season back to back. Beautiful.
It was made for lockdown, that show.
Yeah.
Like lockdown happened so that people could watch Below Deck. That's my conspiracy.
Can't wait to see Captain Jason back on the screens. Oh. I'm excited to see Terry Biviano back on my screen. Actually,
who are you more excited about, Captain Jason or Terry Biviano?
I would say Terry.
Let us know in the comments.
Yes, and also for Terry and Chrissy not getting along, usually like towards the end of last season, they look like they're next to each other in a bunch of scenes in that trailer. So I'm happy to see the girls out and about together.
So what's the deal? She does like a "I'm not coming back," but it's a bluff. Is that what happens?
What I heard was that she hadn't signed on properly when they started filming, and then so she pops up a few weeks in. So that's what I heard on the grapevine. So I don't know how they'll address that in the first few episodes. If she's just like not there, then just like magically appears. But that'd be great to like spook someone like Nicole, who obviously didn't think she was going to probably film with her again, and then here she is. So that's probably why Nicole runs off. She's barely in that trailer. She doesn't have a line. So,
does she have like 8 lawyers like Lisa Barlow? She's like, I was just getting it checked out, the contract checked out.
I would love if that was the case. Yeah, our Lisa Barlow. But look, it looked fun, and I was happy. And do you know what? I actually let out quite a loud laugh when Sally like smashes the tennis ball at those girls standing on the sideline. Reminded me of what do you call it? Andrea's tennis court.
$20,000 tennis court.
Yes.
You put your stilettos on my. Was it a $40,000 tennis court?
I think it was. I think it was much higher. Yeah, 40.
On my $40,000 tennis court.
It won't ever top that in Gina and her heels.
No, I can't imagine Sally bringing the drama. I'm actually shocked that she's still on the cast. Let's be honest. After her flop of a season prior.
She might bring something. So
please prove me wrong. And you'll be gasbagging about Housewives.
I will. Yes, yeah. Sweet. I feel that'll be the revival there with those girls. So. And I'm happy to see Caroline looking down the barrel at the camera, screaming at it, which is great.
Yeah,
love a little fourth wall break.
I think Caroline. Now that she's done it once and she's had some time to kind of like ease into what it is, I think we're going to see a lot more fun times from her this season, because I think she's like ready to clown, Yeah,
good. And she was the standout from that. Like we knew, like for a brand new housewife that we'd never heard about before, she had a great first season. So kudos to Caroline.
Yeah, I'm just glad the girls are back. That was worst kept secret. Like when I had Kate Dr. Kate on the pod. She's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe the show's coming back. I was like, Queen.
Yeah, everyone knows. And RIP to the Grand Dame as well, who's announced her departure from Potomac.
No, but of course, because she can't possibly show her face now. No. Oh, I hate that though.
I'll miss her
so much.
I don't know what that... I just don't want... And also I feel so bad because Giselle's going to have... Like, she's going to be on her high horse coming back into that show, being like one of the OGs next season, and she'll think she's like the queen now. Like, Jesus Christ! But
well, maybe now Robin is a huge star from the Traitors. They'll bring her back.
Shall we jump into Traitors then? Now that we're here,
before we do, we have to talk about the Salt Lake City finale because it was a phenomenal season of art, whole season piece of art. But that finale, wow.
What that game that Heather came up with, the swapping of phones, is like the most diabolical thing.
Heather came up with.
Yeah, I just like if a producer, whatever, but it's the most insane thing I've seen.
Amazing. I want to do it with my friendship group, but I fear we'll never recover.
I don't think you'll have a friendship group by the end of that.
The best one, easily, was Angie K's text, which read something along the lines of... She doesn't listen because her ears are pinned so tightly back to her head.
The nastiest thing I have ever heard was the comment about Todd saying, I love her business plan, marrying someone with one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. Like that was...
And Bronwyn's delivery of it, she was like, 1 foot on the grave and the other on a banana peel.
Yeah. Like trying to choke back tears. And then like Angie's in there going, oh, she's crying. Like I was like, oh my God.
Angie's face was great during it. She was like trying so hard not to laugh because it's really funny. And then the hot dog costume, just to remind us that she sucked her way to the top.
Oh my God. It's just, it was brutal. And they also just moved on from it way too quickly. Like Bronwyn's like, because Andrew's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, it's okay. It's how you feel. And I'm just like, no, I would you would lose your mind. But the way these women can just kind of like keep it moving is amazing.
Amazing. There's just no disputing now that Angie K earned her center position. She fucking came to play this season and it was so good. But that and the Keratis thematique, the hot dog costume, like amazing.
I feel like everyone was just firing on all cylinders. Like Brittany, for a friend of first season, like great. Her like non-event of a text that she shared, which was inviting Bronwyn for tea instead of Mary. Like she has never read the room properly or like come in with something appropriate. Like it's either about Jared or herself. And do you know what? And I believe that's the nastiest thing she has on her phone, because I think as soon as cameras go down, she's texting Jared and she's forgotten whatever scene she's just filmed. Like that's her life is like Jared and that's it. And she's not actually thinking about these women. So I believe that for her.
She's a lost little lamb, isn't she? Our Brittany.
And
that video of her, in the airport.
Oh, what? The airport. Oh, God. She's a star.
She's amazing.
She needs to be back on Broadway. I missed that for her. And do you think the Lisa text that she read, like that Whitney said about her, is true? The making out with a girl while she jokes off her husband?
I mean, more importantly, is the Sean circle jerk situation real? Because that's the video I want to see. Definitely.
I saw all the guys like searching for Sean's
Sean
circle
jerk video. I mean, look, I don't know. I feel like maybe I don't really care. I just love watching Lisa get really pissed off, which does not take much.
No.
But yeah, it could be. I don't know. I feel like after watching Secret Lives of Mom and Wives, I just assume they're all swinging.
Utah seems to be the state for that.
They love it. But yeah, how it went from that to, what did she then say? You'll never be as ethical as me. That was an iconic line.
Oh, yeah, the Lisa lunch where she like basically she almost did the full remember when Rinna almost went to like choke Kim Richards across the table, like when they're in Amsterdam. It felt very like that when she was like, take that fucking wig off and like tried to like grab at Whitney. I was just like, oh, she was going to attack. I think one day she will.
There was no producer intervention on Lisa during that moment when she actually went to grab something. But I must say, I was a little annoyed at how quick they were to grab Angie K at the dinner. I'm like, she didn't do anything.
She threw a flower. Like it wasn't like an actual object
exactly.
like across the table, but maybe
she's on watch after the shampoo bottles.
I was literally going to say that. I think they may be like, oh no, she doesn't know when she's throwing things these days. So like we might actually have to watch her just a little bit more closely. But look,
true. I take it back.
Congrats to all those women. That was a phenomenal season once again. Like I thought it was going to be all downhill after season 4 because it was just great, but somehow they just keep raising the bar.
Yeah. Almost like, but not at all like the Traitors US, which we'll be talking about today, in which some of the cast are carrying the show and some of the cast are just there.
Yeah. Do you know who I love, who I didn't realize I would be falling in love with? Miss Gabby.
Yes.
Gabby is hilarious. Like I just find her so funny. She's so daft, but like in an endearing way. Like I find her fascinating.
But like she's daft, but she was on to Danielle, and then that got beaten down by Bob. So she, she's got some brain cells. She's figured something out.
Yeah, it's just I don't know how well that Bambi squad is going to be at a round table. But look, I feel like Gabby's stepping towards a point, but I think there's something still missing there. But hopefully, I would like her to stay around, even if she keeps getting it wrong. I'd like her to stay.
Yeah, there's some emerging characters this week. I think Brittany's also trying to get some airtime, but not succeeding. Robin Dixon as well is like really trying to get in there.
I just love how loud and wrong Robin is in like almost every situation. Like she's fantastic. Like I didn't realize she'd actually be this activated. Like as I said last time we spoke, I thought she was just going to be in bed essentially the entire season, or like that shot of her in the tub would be like the energy that she would have. But she is really loud with her wrong opinions, and I'm appreciate that.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, Tom Sandoval, also very loud and wrong, but it's also like, it's funny. He's just proving to us everything that we feared. Like there is if this was a reputation rehab decision for him, it is not going well because he's targeting all of the like Bravo women that already hate him, like Ciara and Chrishell. He's just like thinks both of them are traitors. I'm like, okay, convenient that they're also people that want to make you look bad.
Yeah, he's not like there's no reason for it. Like it's like, oh, I don't like you, so you're a traitor. Like there's literally nothing else to it. And he's like, it's so crystal clear to us what's happening. But for him, maybe he thinks he's like playing the game, but he's just like literally bringing his personal like opinions from outside the show into this, going, oh, I don't like you, so that a traitor you will be.
Oh, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
No. But who he is baby girl, Dylan Efron.
My
love
baby.
Him.
I mean, look, we'll get to it at the end, but I'm worried for my boy Dylan. Very worried because he's about to maybe go down a dark path.
He's swimming with sharks.
But if he can just stay like independent, I think he's going to do really well.
Yeah, and I would like to see more of him physically on my screen.
Oh, yes. I would like to see a lot more of him. He's so good. Should we jump back to the start of this episode?
Yes. Sure.
So the first week finished with the whole nail in the coffin twist, and they were debating like who they should pick, and fucking Boston Rob. So it's the fucking Boston Rob show, and it was last week, and this week they just dialed it right up, didn't they?
Yeah. And it's like, I get he is this force and he's like very commanding in a scene, but also I feel bad for especially someone like Carolyn, who I'm just like, you can see she's trying to say things in the moment, but she can't like get her point across with these men. Like I think Bob, the drag queen's also a bit of a force in those situations, and then even he seems a bit scared of like Boston Rob as well. Like it's just like there's just too many personalities in that like Traitors foursome. So
true.
And Boston Rob's just brought this very intense energy into it, which I'm not a fan of.
And so even last week, he was sort of planting the seeds in this very cheeky way where he was like, it's way too early for a traitor on traitor move, like way too early. But if I have to, if my hand is forced, then I'll do it. But he was talking about Danielle because she was already pissing him off at the breakfast by being a shit actor. And then this week he's like, Bob says one thing that threatens, he's so like someone, a queer person, of course, threatens his like alpha status by saying one thing, and he just cannot handle it.
No, it's weird because he has this very like tough presenting exterior, but he is so like anxious about it all as well, because as soon as he gets wind of anything, he's like, well, I have to act, like I have to do something quickly because I'm like threatened by this. So he's not as like secure as he's like making out. He's actually riddled with like all these like little anxieties.
He's got no lulls. Like he's got not a lull to him. Like Bob was out there having fun, but also playing the game quite well, which I was appreciating. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Rob is like just playing the game well and not having any fun whatsoever.
No, and I just think like Traitors is so ridiculous that we're here to have fun. That's why there's housewives in the building, like because it's like meant to be this like ridiculous show. That's why Alan is like coming in dressed like insanely, because it's meant to be a bit
it's
of like
camp.
It's like tongue in cheek. Yeah, it's exactly that. But just God, I still have such a problem with those three men in the cages. Like it was just the wrong energy all to throw in at the same time. Like it was just the wrong like I don't know, they all three of them gross me out a little bit.
And at the start of the season, like it was literally the first week and we're already getting three men in cages twist. Like maybe they could have pulled that off later on, or I don't know, but it definitely felt heavily biased towards making Boston Rob the star of the show no matter what happens. Like he was like on a silver platter, he was delivered the lead role in this show. By coming in at the start with the handshake twist. Then again, obviously they twisted the rules of that game and they weren't all going to get in originally. That's very clear to me because they needed him in there. And then giving him traitor, like I actually wish he wasn't a traitor.
Yeah, it just because I think either way people would suspect him. The problem is as well, making him a traitor, he's going to get eliminated as well because sometimes these Survivor people, like, and you're seeing it already, just play the game too hard, and Traitors is more a game about subtlety. If you want to stay on, like if you do too much or seem to be doing too much, you're going to get eliminated. So I think like maybe that's why they've given him so much to do in these first few episodes, because they're probably like, oh, he probably will get eliminated. So we've got to make him like a star for the first few episodes, because I think people will be on his back, especially we'll get to it. But after the end of this episode, I think he has just painted a massive target on his back.
True. That's the thing. It's one of those moves. It was a big, bold move, but it's like absolutely not sustainable. Like he's actually got a trail now leading right back to, if you think about it, and like Wes is already onto him. But like, if you think about it for 2 seconds, it's so obvious what went down. Like traitor on traitor violence is very obvious, I think. Even watching from home, you're like, oh, okay. And I think if you were there, you'd be like, hang on, why is this the case? Like, why is this person so sure that they're going to get this like vindication moment? Like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things as well when it becomes that whole traitor and traitor violence, the one that knows they're going to be like being thrown under the bus, they always leave like a little morsel of something for you to hang on to, which I think we'll talk about, but like Bob did as his final act as well. So,
well, we're still deciding who is going in the coffins, and Rob has completely railroaded the whole strategy behind it. And look, I think it was smart that they didn't put a traitor in there.
Yeah.
Also, with the logistics of this twist, if they had put a traitor in there, would then it have been possible for the remaining traitors to murder that person? Because they all stayed inside the coffins.
Yeah.
So that person wouldn't have been a part of the decision.
Well, yeah, because also, yeah, because like say if they made Carolyn do it or something, Rob could have again railroaded Danielle, and Bob the drag queen have been like, well, let's get rid of Carolyn, and then it just like, you know, like they could have done something like that. So yeah, it was risky, but also it's the right plan because now they didn't put themselves in there, but everyone suspects Ciara
and Nikki, yeah, which was clever. Carolyn, by the way, is my favorite this week. She's amazing. Her facial expressions at the round table sent me.
She's great. And the thing is, because she's so strange, I think she will just continue to go under the radar because people are like, oh, she's odd. And like, so any of her actual nerves from being a traitor, they're not going to show because everyone's just going to be like, oh, she's quirky. And then like she'll be able to skate through, at least for a while, I think.
She's fantastic. She was such a good choice to be on the show in the first place, but then even better choice making her a traitor. And I'm on her team. Like I really want her to skate through to the end undetected. And I think she's got the best chance for sure, like you said.
Yeah, and I also think she might need to team up with Danielle to get rid of Boston Rob at some point as well. But I don't know where Danielle's like loyalties are going to go, but I think she might need to do that to get rid of him.
Before we got to the coffins, though, there was still a little bit of bookcase drama going on. So Gabby's wandering around. She thinks she hears Danielle in the bookcase, but isn't sure. And then Dylan grabs Danielle and they both go into the bookcase, and Danielle gives us an award-winning performance where she's like, oh, I don't know, was there something in here that's missing now? I don't know. Like, and Dylan's
she looked like she was staring like dead on at the coffin thing as well. Like I feel like I was like stop looking at it because he's looking there and you're like staring, being like, don't go there. She just like, yeah, she's doing too much. I feel like she'll be found out in a matter of days.
Yeah, I thought it was so cute though, Dylan in the room being like, oh damn it, we're too late. Like it was like a little kid like playing a murder mystery game. It was so cute,
but also wild. Like the whole Gabby thinking she heard Danielle, the instinct would it not to be just to turn around and walk into the room to confirm who you're hearing come out of the bookcase? Like she's an innocent person in this whole situation. Like she should be investigating and going, oh, so who's coming out of the bookcase?
Well, Gabby was so spot on as well. She's like, I heard Danielle in the bookcase, saw her near there. Clearly some shit went down in the bookcase because straight away afterwards Alan grabs them all to go outside for the twist. So it's pretty easy to figure out that something went on in there because of the nature of that timing. And then they see the three get chosen. It's Nikki, Ciara, and Jeremy that get chosen into the coffins. And again, so obvious this was Rob's doing. He's clearly threatened by, like, he got rid of Tony because he's clearly threatened by another man that's won Survivor and another popular Survivor player. And then he's done it again with Jeremy. And I was like, dude, you were just like so dumb. Like,
yes, because it's going to be black and white to everyone else. Like when everyone starts putting the pieces together now, they're going to go, oh yeah, like all the Survivor players are going. The other problem as well, if it seems like he's targeting Survivor people, they might wonder why he's keeping Carolyn there as well. So that might screw up her game as well. So
also, not a good look in this economy, killing a firefighter, but sure.
This was filmed.
I know.
Much earlier.
I know, but
I know what you mean. Though.
It was really funny when Alan was like, grabbed Jeremy's portrait and was like, made the little fire pun, and I was like, ooh, not now, Alan.
I loved Ciara's like empty threat when she was in the coffin, like when they were going like saying your last words, and she was like, oh, like I'm gonna fucking come for you guys. And
she's like,
okay,
fuck, I'm gonna fucking get you, fucking bitches, yeah. And everyone's like, all right. Sorry.
Like she hasn't said a word this entire time, and now she's like threatening people while she's lying there. I'm like, what's happening here, Ciara?
And little does she know that later on it's going to come and bite her in the ass. swearing, the profanity of it all.
Yeah. And then Jeremy weirdly trying to do like a open floor deal, like him like kind of like begging, going like, I'll work with you. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, as in you're going to be like a faithful that you want the traders to tell you they are who they are so you can help them out? Like, what do you mean?
That was very Survivor / just desperate. Yeah.
Well,
the
RIP Jeremy.
RIP. What did you think of the coffin twist overall?
It was fine. I kind of like when they do the dramatic thing, but I also like the more drawn out ones. Like I liked the one last season where, you know, people were poisoned and whatever, and they got to the coffins at the end, but it was like that more drawn out sequence. And also the UK most recent, the like death match, like around the table. I thought that was creative. Hopefully they do that. I hope they do that later in the season. But yeah, it was slightly anticlimactic. I would have liked to have seen like the murder happen in front of everyone, because, you know, like that last season when they like closed the coffin on the person who was going to get killed, and then everyone kind of reacts in real time. Like I like the dramatics in that. So that would have been nice to see, but it was fun.
Yeah, I thought aesthetically it was a nice twist, having them all. I like the portraits on the foot of the coffins, just so they don't murder the wrong person, and the nail going in. Yeah, I thought it was cute.
It was also so strange because, like, we find out later that the conversation that the traders were having was literally within earshot of them in the coffins. Like, I was like, that just seems like such a strange element. Like, wouldn't you just...
Surely they weren't in them at that time. They couldn't have been, because they would have come back going, I fucking heard Bob the drag queen talking. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Bob the drag queen has a very distinct voice where that's not someone... You're not going to mistake him that with
and Carolyn.
Else. Exactly.
Everyone's like, rah, rah.
But you can tell later on, clearly, they could not tell how many voices were there because they got the numbers so wrong. So.
And the light feet. They were tiny little feet.
Yeah, I don't know who they're talking about there.
So
maybe
you can't
Gabby.
really hear much from inside a coffin. But yeah, the editing was strange. I actually thought overall this was a very well edited episode. Of the Traitors, because it was like an hour and 10 or something. And normally, I don't know, I kind of whip my phone out at some point, particularly during the missions. But this was like compelling. This mission was well edited, and this twist and everything, it flowed really well. I mean, I would have loved to have seen the Traitors turret, which we didn't get this episode, which was a bit of a letdown. But it was still, I thought, a really good episode.
Yeah, and I feel like the challenges are getting better each season, because like I think the earlier ones for all like UK, US, Australia, they were just like, there was not enough like weight in it to like justify why we're doing this, to like add money to the prize pool. Like there weren't enough like elements to it where you felt like people are at risk, where now there's just so many of these like shield elements and stuff like that, or like saving themselves from murder, which actually makes it a bit more, you know, dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, I was only watching the Australian missions for the Adidas tracksuits that were quite cute.
Yeah, it's very Squid Game.
Yes, it is Squid Game. I'm surprised none of the other franchises have stolen that. They sometimes put them in like these black kind of like SWAT gear, very like SAS, that show outfits, but I'm not as into that. Like,
no, I like the tracksuits. It feels silly.
I'm loving Sam Ashgari in a tracksuit. I'll just say that.
He's a beautiful dumb man, isn't he?
Beautiful and dumb. And yeah, and it's great that he's like an ornamental fixture of this show. Like he's every now and then you catch a glimpse and you go, oh, yeah, okay. But then that's it. And then every now and then they try and chuck in like a Britney thing, and he just awkwardly like says no comment.
Oh, I loved the misunderstanding when he came in wearing the headband and said that he was wearing Britney's, as in like Britney from the show, and they were like, which one?
I just borrowed Britney's headband. Well, that's really all he's contributing, and you know what? I'm okay with it.
That's fine. A slight Britney, because clearly he can't talk about her, but like I love when like it kind of just slips in every now and again, because clearly everyone in the castle's like, we must talk about Britney Spears, and they just like trying to like look for any moment to like add her into it.
It's all he's good for, and yeah, it's all the editors want out of him and the rest of the cast. But then he's just like, oh, I can't do that. So yeah, that and the shower scenes.
Yeah, which I'll take. Keep him in there just for those and threaten him with murder just so he has to
I
do another
know.
shower scene.
I'm surprised he hasn't been chopped yet, but I guess he's not a threat at all. And
Keep the dummies because they're never going to get on to the actual point. Which also, I loved Robin at that, like the next morning where she was like being so loud and wrong about Nikki and Jeremy both being traded. Like I was just like, great. Like before they even knew that Jeremy was there, she's like, oh, Jeremy, Nikki, both traders. I'm like, no, I think it's so off the mark.
Oh, this breakfast was great. So it like started, like the Bambis and Robin and Dolores are like there, and like they haven't even seen the result of the twist yet, or of the, of the murder, and they're already like rampantly speculating about everything. And like Gabby was on the money with her first bit about Danielle, but still I'm like, guys, maybe do you want to just wait like 5-10 minutes until you've got a little bit more information to go on? I was like, you guys are so insane.
But that's what I love just them launching into these like theories like so quickly. Like you can literally, as you said, wait 5 to 10 minutes and you're going to see the full line of people that you can actually ask about these things or talk about it. But no, let's just jump straight in.
Like saying Jeremy's a traitor, and it's like, meanwhile, he's not even going to walk in the door. Yeah. It's like, fucking hell, Robin. Oh my God. Yeah, Loud and Robin is fabulous. Loving Gabby as well. So yeah, she's got this tea about the bookcase. She shares it with Robin, who's like, I'm gonna hold on to that. I'm gonna come out with this later on, which was hilarious. So everyone arrives and Robin's like, well, who was in the bookcase? And then they all it cuts to like Carolyn, Danielle, Bob, and their eyes are all just like darting back and forth.
Yeah, and then and it's just like it was shot down so quickly as well. Like all these people like went into the bookcase, but it just would have been good just to pry a bit more. But like Gabby just like brushed it off immediately. She's like, "Oh, a bunch of people were in there. Okay, I got that wrong."
Well, I think what shut it down was Bob. I think Bob he's so likable, particularly by the girlies and the queer girlies. We've got so many queer girlies on this show. It's great, but they're all like, I think they just refuse to even consider Bob because he's such like an icon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's just he's one of those, and he has so much assurance when he's speaking that as soon as he's like, oh yeah, like a bunch of us went in there, it's just like as in like that shouldn't be a worry to you, and everyone's just like calmed by that or something. Like, oh yeah, sure, like he wouldn't lie to us.
Gabby even said in confessional, oh well, that pretty much proves. She's like, that confirms that then. And I'm like, what? I was like, Gabby, you just figured out who the traitors are.
You were onto something.
You did it. Like, it was, I was definitely screaming at Gabby through the screen. You're like, you silly bitch.
And I loved the boy band that came in. The, what was it? The Bob Dylan and was it Boston Rob as well that came in? Anyway, but like, I was like, great. Busted boy band. Love.
Busted boy band is very half of this cast.
Truly.
They are like washed up bro dudes. Because like, obviously now that Rob is back on TV, we've got a lot of like content of his earlier runs circulating. I don't know if you've seen all the stuff like from his first season of Survivor, where he said like some pretty homophobic things.
I feel like those early seasons are just riddled with like homophobia. Like it's insane. It was just like, and it was just talked about so like generally, and it was a lot of people that were from certain parts of America were just like, yeah, that's what we think where I'm from. And it's just like, and it was just fine. Like back then it really meant nothing, and they could talk about it on TV. Like, and there was no repercussions when they came out of the house or anything like that. Not our house.
Oh, totally. In fact, he became a household name and said all those things. So yeah, it says a lot about how far we've come as a people. But yeah, it's just, I find it interesting that yes, one that used to be reality TV back then. It was more, particularly Survivor, it was more actually about human interactions and politics and like social politics. Now it's like, this is a game, and like everyone on it is like a nerd that loves the game, and it's like, go off. But yeah, I do miss that style of Survivor when it was about the people on it.
Yeah, and it was interesting as well because it was a clash of cultures a lot of the time, and a lot of the time when there was like a out gay person on the cast, you'd actually see some of these like what would you call like typical Republicans kind of like backwards views kind of not fell in love with the people, but like Richard, for example, in the first season, like changed a lot of people's perspectives and stuff like that. The more time they spent with him and they understood who he was as a person and why, you know, and that was actually
a
fascinating to watch.
Hideous man, but also
great TV.
Great TV. No, you're right. He really did a lot for that kind of building bridges. He was able to walk in the same space as the straights and not upset them that much. I think it was also being like a kind of masculine presenting white man, like that was on his side as well. But yeah, he really did like convince a lot of bigots that, oh, the gays aren't so bad. They're just like you and me.
Yeah. Oh. And he could catch fish, so he kept them fed. So that was his like main purpose when he was there as well. That kept him on the island for so long. So look, gay men can fish apparently.
But that's the thing. It's like, but that was the world then. Like in late 90s, early 2000s, like we did have to prove our worth to the straights as like an individual to like gain their approval. And fuck, I'm so glad that's, you know, for the most part, no longer the case. Yeah, but Boston Rob, it really is like digging up a lot of old trauma for me, having Boston Rob on this show, because he hasn't changed one bit. Like,
no, and he's just too like, he's like always feels like gameplay, like that, like what we were saying before, like there's no lols there. Like you just kind of want light and shade with him, where I think he's just a bit too game focused and being this character that he's been for years. I'm just like, do you know what? Just like relax, have a laugh with these people. A lot of people here aren't taking it that seriously. Like I'd love to see him and just sit down and have a normal conversation with Gabby. Like that'd be fascinating to watch.
Same. Yeah, he's got this like face on all the time, which is kind of scowly. And look, I get, one, it's his brand. Two, it's his strategy. Like I totally get it. I'm not like asking Boston Rob to not be Boston Rob. I just personally do not fucking vibe with it. And it's kind of wrecking the show for me. I'm not going to lie. Because it's just all about him.
I know, but I feel like maybe he's getting all this screen time because I feel like days are absolutely numbered now. So I think maybe we'll see him, send him on his way. I hope and pray. So I just have to say, I love the cunty way that Alan throws the frames every time he announces someone's murdered. Like it's just so good. And then like Dolores is always like running and like grabbing the frames to like try and put it together, which I love. But it's just like so good. And
then Bob goes, drag her. Which I was like, okay, don't act too excited about it. You're a traitor. You're an undercover traitor. But yeah, so Jeremy gets the chop, which, I thought was a silly choice. And I wonder, so clearly Carolyn and Danielle and Bob like went along with it. But like, do you think they had any say? Like,
no, because I think Carolyn basically says she feels bad about the kill. Like I think she feels like she doesn't have a voice in like any of what's going on because Boston Rob's just kind of steamrolling at this point. So it'll be interesting to see like after this episode the new formation of the Traitors, like how the conversations will flow, and then if, you know, I think the girls essentially need to band together to actually get anything they want over the line. Otherwise Boston Rob's just going to continue this like tirade.
Yeah, tirade with his little kind of sour puss face on all the time.
I get a feeling you really don't like Boston Robson.
It's just, doesn't his face bother you? He's just always
a little bit. Yeah, it's just, he looks like a grumpy man, doesn't he?
No, he sounds like Trump as well. Like when he speaks, he's got the same cadence as Trump in his voice.
He has some Trump-isms to him. Yes, I'll give you that. Did you clock Tom's terrible jeans that he had? Sandoval.
Oh, honey, those jeans. What the fuck?
And he's just used. I love when he's just like straight after that, he's like walking out into that kitchen going, I'd like to say something. I'm just like, okay, I feel like you're just going to be filled with beautiful ideas here. He's just, and again, so wrong.
Well, Tom, sorry, so many one syllable names like Bob, Tom, Rob. Tom Sandoval really showed everyone what a piece of shit he is in this mission. Like, oh my God.
Self-serving.
So, exactly. Like, so the whole point of this mission, kind of clever. It was like, there's these statues that need to be built, but there's only 10 slots and there's 18 left. Is that right? Something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
it's and this is another thing that really pissed me off as well. This showed how fucking male this show is, because even Alan commented on it. So when
Mm.
they put the heads on the statues that like save someone from being murdered, but all the heads that went on first were all the dudes on the show, like all the bros just like getting their heads on there and not even really consulting with any of the girls who was in there. Like the women, they're like running, actually helping with everything, but no one's consulting them. The guys are just like self-servicing them. Like I don't know, it really pissed me off watching it.
I was just watching being like, America, this is you. Like just,
Mm.
it's like the end of the world and there's only like 10 escape capsules left or whatever. And like all of the men just like look after themselves. And then they also say, who was it? It was like, it was either Wes or like one of the Big Brother guys. I don't know. Some gamer dude said something along the lines of like, oh, you know, it's just a game. You've got to like look out for yourself or whatever. And I was thinking in the back of my mind, I'm like, that's true. That's one way to play. But I would argue this is a social game. And actually every single decision you make, including how you play these missions, is going to ripple affect your relationships. So if you were smart, like you would actually help someone. This is an opportunity for you to build trust with people.
Yeah. And it was just, and everything was just like every man for themselves, and they're just not thinking about those actual collectives, and not even like thinking strategically, like who do we need to make sure we get through, who will be a target or whatever, like who we think the traitors are going after. Like there was none of that conversation happening. They were just like, oh no, I'm going to save myself.
Mm. I'm a bit behind on UK, but have they done this mission as well?
They do. Yeah. They end up doing this as well,
Okay,
but it's a bit more even, I would say.
Well, that's the thing. It's like,
Yep.
I was going to say, even the other ones that I've seen where the same mission has taken place on UK and US, it's so funny watching how differently they're played. Like on the UK one, like everyone's helping each other and like it's not a big deal, and they're kind of having a bit of fun while they do it. And then the US one, it's like game on moles, cutthroat.
Yeah, I felt so sorry for Bob Harper. Like I didn't realize he'd had the heart attack like recently. Like I wasn't across that. So like seeing him struggle, because before he said the story, I was like sitting there turning to Mitch going, he should be good at this. He used to like do all this shit on like Biggest Loser. I'm like, how is he so? And then he's told the story. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. That's terrible.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of giggling when he was like it's, you know, horribly had a heart attack. Sorry about it. But also it was kind of funny. It was like, oh, he's the Biggest Loser guy. And he's like struggling in the challenge. And then that's what like made him cry. Like, I'm letting myself down.
I loved Robin during this challenge, like when Tom Sandoval got the head on. She goes, Tom Sandoval, that's what we call selfish as shit. I was like, great.
That was good. Yeah. I love that they are just keeping in all of the confessionals where people hate on Tom. It's too easy. It's too good.
It's so good. And I feel like he thought this would help him, this show. And it's just doing the absolute opposite. He's actually, it's not even opposite. It's just staying absolutely consistent with who he is. So I'm relishing in that.
Same. Well, yeah, it's just, it's confirming that he is a selfish piece of shit. And that even on a different show, he will also always look out for himself and then kind of like whine about it later, which is the really unattractive part.
I also absolutely loved when they're running down the hill, and I forget who told Sierra, but essentially them saying to her that like, oh, everyone's going for you. And then Sierra just like finally clicking, and she's like, everyone thinks I'm a traitor. Like she had like no idea, like everyone was focused in on her there, the poor thing.
Oh my God. This is also where we get this line from Brittany, who's like entering the chat for the first time this episode. And she's like, she's carrying large sculptures. They didn't teach me that on Peloton. Should this have been a challenge about cycling and early 2000s pop, I would have been really well prepared. And I was like, oh
She'd prepared that speech. Having said that, though, Sam, I did giggle. I did giggle, even
Oh,
though it was really put on.
I giggled too, but then I was like, am I giggling at her or am I giggling at like the gay that wrote that line for her?
I just to jump back very quickly, I had written down what Gabby was talking about earlier on.
Oh, at
before the
Brekkie?
challenge. Yeah, and she said, I'm biased and there is a double standard, and that's okay.
That's my 2025 mantra.
Oh,
I have double standards.
I've lived by that creed for so long. Like, I will change on a dime.
I have double standards, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I love a self-aware queen.
Oh, love her. And then at the end of the challenge, once everyone's been chosen, we get the thing that ticks off Boston Rob because he hears. What did they say, Sam? Like, Bob the drag queen mentioned his name in passing.
Yeah, so Bob just randomly decides to sort of grandstand in this moment. But look, I think it is consistent with Bob's personality so far. So I actually don't think it was suspicious at all. It just pissed off Rob because what he said was something along the lines of, oh, well, you know, we all think it's one of the new guys, meaning the caged men. Yeah. Saying that, like, you know, a lot of men got put in the shield positions on the statue. So he's like, oh, fuck, you know. And he was just saying that to, you know, be consistent in his character of being a faithful.
Yeah.
So I thought no alarms went off for me. Rob obviously was just like, oh, he took it as, you know, his tiny little man brain didn't quite get what was going on. And he took it as, Bob the drag queen is coming for me. He's throwing my name out there. He's putting a target on my back. I'm like, no, he's not. He's just trying to look faithful, you fucking idiot.
No, and that's the thing as well. And I think he was looking for just any morsel from Bob the drag queen that was going to allow him to tell the girls, like, oh, we've got to go after him because he's, like, already coming for me. Like, he was looking for Bob at any stage to say anything about him so he could do this. And the thing is as well, Wes is in the same position because Boston Rob says to him, oh yeah, he's saying like one of us is a traitor, which shows like Wes didn't give a shit. He was just like, oh, of course, like they're going to say that about like three of us coming into the competition.
Exactly.
Yes, by odds, one of us is probably going to be a traitor. But like you can see that Wes doesn't panic. So like it's not actually a, you know, common feeling amongst those men if they heard that they give a shit. But clearly it's affected Boston Rob.
Well, also, wouldn't Rob be happy getting that information? I don't know. I think the whole thing with Boston Rob is he's been gagging for some traitor on traitor violence because it's a quote unquote big move, which the Survivor players love to hang their hat on these big moves. Yeah. And he's been chomping at the bit to do one, but he needs permission to do it because you don't want to look like a dickhead being the first to do traitor on traitor. So I think he's like, oh, great. An excuse for me to turn on a traitor. He was already angling for Danielle last week.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's also not that game as well. Like, yes, these big moves get you accolades in Survivor, but in Traitors, if you do big moves, it paints a target on your back. And if you do not get murdered, then it becomes very evident to everyone else that you are a traitor because these moves you're doing are not getting you murdered. So like, it's doesn't work that way. And I don't think he's figured that out yet because he's just playing his game that he wants to do.
Oh, exactly. Exactly that. It's like, how long is that going to last for? What, you're just going to take all of the traitors out? I think his strategy is to, appear faithful and like a really good faithful that's really great at picking the traitors. And I'm like, no one's going to buy that for more than a couple weeks.
No, and I honestly don't think before the roundtable happened, him running around to like talk to like Danielle and Carolyn and stuff and like the other people that he was trying to rally. I didn't think he was going to have the numbers because everyone
neither.
Because even when he was speaking to people, you could tell them it was like the first time they were like hearing this theory and they were kind of like, I'm not really on board. Like I think what changed people's minds was what happened at the roundtable. Beforehand, I did not see the vote like going that way whatsoever.
Oh, the speed at which Rob was activated from that one comment, he was fully activated and like went straight into his Bob the Drag Queen smear campaign, which was really intense. Like, it was kind of giving like gay panic. Like, I was actually like, oh my God.
True. And the thing is, I've done a complete 180 because like I was like, wanted to murder Bob the drag queen last week
Same.
for killing
Yeah,
off
same.
Dorinda and Chanel. I was like, how dare you? I can't stand you. And then this week, for some reason, because there's a bigger enemy now for me, which is Boston Rob, I was like, no, I was like, I actually want Bob the drag queen to stay and then get rid of Boston Rob. Like, I can't stand him now. Like, so I completely flipped.
Well, I think my loyalties, you've actually just made me realize, like, I think my loyalties lie like Housewives first, then the drag queens, then the Survivor people. Like, that's probably my order of like where I sit in the fandom. But like,
Yeah.
and I love because everyone's different, and watching all the fandoms like interact with each other over the show is so funny. All these Housewives fans like coming at Bob over the last week was so good, and then watching him bat back.
Yeah, he really was not doing well with the feedback he was getting. Like, trying like the whole pretending not to know who Dorinda was and everything. I was like, oh, come on now. Like, you knew what you were doing. But look.
Is your loyalty order the same?
Oh, 100%. Probably like Housewives first and then anyone else on Bravo probably.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I just like stand behind like any, Bravo or Jason show. And
so
then,
what, is Chriselle Bravo? Is still in
no,
Sunset's Bravo?
she's...
Oh, it's not.
Netflix.
Ah, okay. So Ciara is Bravo somehow.
Yeah, Sierra, and even though like I can't stand Tom Sandoval, he just gets to get lumped in with those people. And always at the bottom is Bachelor people. But having said that, Gabby has risen my ranks like immediately, so I'm a big fan.
Oh no, for me the bottom is easily the Big Brother people. Could not give a fuck. They are so boring. I'm sorry, I don't understand, because I love Big Brother, but when I say that, I mean UK, Australia, like
early Australia,
Australia and UK, all of it, like where it's an actual show about people that are interesting,
not this stupid Survivor challenges like thrown into a Big Brother setting. Like, I hate that.
But these people aren't interesting in any way. Who would want to watch them sitting around the house? It's a genuine question.
Yeah, and doesn't it go for like an insane amount of time in the US as well, like months and months or something? Like, it's mental. Anyway, it's so not mine.
I'm like actually shocked, because like at least Survivor is a fun game and they cast interesting people, but like these American Big Brother people, I'm sorry, but you are not for me.
No, and they can all go.
They can all go. Oh, that cage, is it Derek, the one that came down the cage? Oh, Derek.
Oh God, and a cop. God help us. Like, my God, just not for me.
And the fact that he is there and we don't get Chanel Ayan's outfits is just a fucking crime.
Horrific. I would like to see Derek in Chanel's outfit behind. That'd make him like slightly more interesting.
They're like, sorry, Derek, your wardrobe, we've lost everything. But Chanel's is still here.
Yeah, Chanel's suitcase is here, so let's go, hun. Lovely headpiece on him or something. That'd be great.
That would be fucking great. I've got to give a shout out to Bob Harper in all these Tom Brown looks. Stunning.
He looks great. He's a stylish man. So
very stylish.
Yeah. And I love he got a little venom in him at the table, which was quite nice to see. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of where I'm hoping I'm going to be when I'm 60, you know.
Fabulous.
Fabulous, stylish, on a D-list reality show, you know, goals.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Should we get to the round table?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Nikki is going into the round table. Boston Rob has planted a few seeds. He thinks he's being clever planting these seeds about Bob the drag queen, and he thinks that someone else is going to bring it up. Don't you reckon?
Yeah, and it's just like, you can see him like patiently waiting, and he feels like he's done the work where he doesn't need to get his hands dirty, and no one gives a shit. Like, no one's going down that road, and he has to be the one to spearhead it. Yeah.
Well, no one wants to go against Bob. Bob is like beloved, you know, there is this intimidating presence to Bob the drag queen as well.
Well, yeah, because I saw the way Dylan got like dressed down like last round table. So I think everyone's too scared to kind of, you know, face the same wrath that like Dylan did. So I think that's why everyone's like kind of tiptoeing around on eggshells around him.
So it starts with like a few Nikki conspiracies, which does not last long.
No. And Nikki's a little bit, boring. I do like my Bambi girls, but more in a Chriselle Gabby world. Nikki is not really adding anything to me.
No, and interestingly, she is the most followed of this cast. I think she has like a few. She has a few million.
Oh, the wrestling fandom is insane.
So I can see why she got put on. Yeah, I think it's like a couple million in the IG, which no one else on this cast is close to. So it's kind of like, what? Give your fans something, Nikki. Be interesting.
I agree with she is a performer. Like Wes's weird theory, which is terrible, but I'm also kind of in agreement where, like, yeah, maybe you should be acting a bit more or doing something.
See, if this was Australian Survivor, they would have already by now engineered a challenge of wrestling. They would have been like, this week's challenge is wrestling.
Yes. Give her a moment.
They wouldn't remember they used to do like, they'd put footy players in, like ex.
Oh yeah, they'd be like kick the ball like through these like 2 posts, and you're like, oh come on.
They'd be like, today's challenge is a specky and then a handball, and then I'd be like, oh okay, we're off to Oz kick.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. So the Nikki chat lasts for like 2 seconds before Rob cannot help himself, and he's just like, well, I've got to say, what's his speech? It's like, there's somebody that's been under your nose the whole time, and it's the person you least expect, and they're telling everyone what to do, and blah, blah. And I'm like, Rob, you're describing yourself, but sure.
Yes. It felt, it's like self-prophesizing. I was like, no. I was like, that, like, you're literally painting your picture right now.
But that camera work, when he's the shot from behind Bob the Drag Queen's head, and you see Rob's eyes shift to Bob.
Yeah.
That was like, they're coming for the Emmy again with that. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, the editing was great. And then Bob's reaction to it was like so good. He was caught off guard.
Oh, so caught off guard. He was mortified. And it went from, we saw the full like 9 stages of grief or whatever. It was like shock, denial, anger. Like they all just kind of came after each other. It was great.
Yeah. And then this empowers Dylan to finally speak up as well, and this whole sequence was so good when he goes like, I grew up with an actor, and then Bob just so quickly back at him going, not a good one. And then Dolores just going, that was mean.
That was so good. Bob knows people are memeing this show, people are recapping this show, and he's feeding us these amazing little sound bites. Like, that was great.
Yeah, it was so well done. And
not Bob's a good one.
Bob's so quick as well. So it's just like beautiful.
Yeah, poor baby Dylan. I grew up with an actor, and everyone's like, we know. Okay. Yeah, except is it Dolores later on that's like, I think your brother's great.
Yes. Has to console him. That was so cute. I honestly was in shock at Danielle flipping on this vote when they finally get to...
Well, so was she. Her whole fucking thing, and this is, again, why I think these Big Brother people just suck, is because they're like on these shows and they're like allegedly great at these games or whatever, and then she's there telling us, Bob is my ride or die. Like, she said ride or die like 700 times to the point where I was going to like self-harm. And then fucking like out of nowhere, she just votes for him. I'm like, shut up.
There was also just like, when there's that many players still left, you could have just burnt that vote on anyone, like to not betray him and just like let the rest of them go. Like, you could have like thrown it on Nikki or whatever, because there was all those theories going around about Nikki. Like, just do that, because you can still look justified and not betray Bob. But the fact that she did it, I was just like, my God, there's like no loyalty here whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm struggling with Danielle. Like, I think she's been good telly. The bad acting was great, and like some of the interactions with her and the other traitors is good. And it looks like next week it's all going to kick off, which is good. But I'm also, I'm not mad if she gets chopped soon.
I loved all the creative ways everyone wrote Bob's name. Like Sam wrote like Bob TDQ.
TDQ.
I was like, oh, come on.
Better than the UK, where they literally spell people's names in the most insane ways.
Oh, I loved there was that shot, I think from a couple episodes ago, maybe it was this week, but when Anna voted for Mina and she spelt her like name incorrectly, Mina was sitting next to her, just like turned her head like cocked to the side. I was like, what? Like just adding in like extra letters.
It's hilarious. Like, I'm worried for the literacy rates of the mother country. Can we get some spelling classes?
That's one of my favorite things, like especially on Survivor as well, when like Jonathan's like reading out the votes and you see the way some people have spelt the names. I'm like, amazing.
Oh yes.
Like you really sounded
Upside
out
down.
the word. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, so yeah, they all come for Bob TDQ. I was shocked at the number of votes that Bob TDQ received.
Me too. I didn't think it was going to be like a landslide like that, but it was in the end.
And Bob was just getting more and more agitated as time went on. I love the defense of, I swear to God, I'm a faithful. As soon as he said that, I was like, well, if that was me, though, I'd be like, well, this means not a whole lot.
No, and I don't see him as like a God-fearing man whatsoever, which he did eventually get up and tell everyone, which was, I thought, I really enjoyed his delivery when he was like going out. I also thought he was going to like, I know he put the vote back on Boston Rob to, you know, obviously a little wink to what was going on, but I thought he was going to maybe like touch someone's chair in the way. Like I imagine they get briefed where it's like, when you're on the way out, don't do anything. Like I can imagine, but I thought he would have done something a bit like cheeky or something.
Well, Drag Race is the birthplace of the iconic exit line. Like that is the, you know, Miss Vanjie, like a star was born through one exit line. So I think the power of that is not lost on Bob, of having an iconic exit. But you're right, there's definitely strict rules at play about what you can and can't say on your way out. Because fuck, it would be so tempting to go, yeah, I'm a traitor and so's Rob. Get him out. He's a fucking cunt. Like, like that's what you would just want to do so bad. And I'm sure Bob was just like screaming inside that he couldn't just drag Boston Rob for filth right then and there.
Yeah, you'd want to say something like, oh, and my final words, remember my last vote or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like something to kind of go, just like stay on that trail or whatever. But I guess like they've got to keep it.
He did leave some little clue, didn't he?
Yeah, he did say, I forget what the speech was, but basically when he was giving the vote, he was just like kind of saying, well, you're doing the exact same thing or whatever. So anyway.
It was something like, remember, I don't know. There was a cryptic line, but I don't think it'll be particularly helpful. But it doesn't matter anyway, because Wes, and I think a few others, seem to have clocked that Rob was very confident, and the only way to be certain that someone is a traitor is if you are a traitor, and he was certain.
Yes, yeah, because the way he was selling it, it's like he knew, and then Wes obviously was like, well, that's why he knows. Like, and so I don't look. Fingers crossed, Boston Rob's days are numbered after this.
The Lord Mountbatten kind of chiming in there at the end, being like, "What?" Like not understanding the game.
I forget he's there.
Yeah,
and God protect our poor baby girl Dylan, because him teaming up with Boston Rob now is going to be the end of him, because he should know after watching Boston Rob for all these years that he will murder you in a second.
I know. And I'm disappointed for our baby girl, because he's so smitten by the poison chalice of Boston Rob in this way that I'm like, be smarter. Like,
I know. That's why I need Boston Rob gone. I need someone else to do it for him, because if he gets sucked into that, he'll go down with him, sadly.
Yeah, there's something kind of Joe Rogan-y about Boston Rob, like having a younger man to, like, you know, groom.
Hopefully not. Let's hope Dylan escapes the clutches of our Boston Rob.
I would
Dolores should mama bear him and like
100%
take away. Yeah.
Or what are the Bambis doing? Get Dylan to join the Bambis. He's got gorgeous Bambi eyes. He qualifies.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'd love to see. I can't wait for Boston Rob to go, and then whoever they recruit afterwards, because I feel like they could. I reckon they should bring another little girl up into the.
Oh, so you reckon Boston Rob is out next round?
I reckon next week.
Yeah,
I mean, because I reckon Wes is going to peddle that and just be like, especially if it's like a mission where, oh, actually, do you know what? Even if you get a shield, it doesn't really matter. You can still get banished. So I reckon whatever the next banishment is, I reckon they're going to go straight for him. And hopefully, oh no, Wes has got a shield as well, because I was going to go if Boss and Rob catches on that Wes is already saying they might murder him that night. But
and Rob would do that because he has no strategy. He's literally walked into this game with a machine gun, and he's just like it's not good.
I feel like he's just going to go for, it'll be someone who didn't vote with him on the Bob the Drag Queen thing. Like he'll remember who voted who, and he'll want to murder someone who didn't vote with them.
Yeah, that is his approach. It's like, you're either with me or you're against me, and I will come for you if you're against me. For his thing, I think Carolyn's playing it good. She's telling Boston Rob what he wants to hear to maintain in his favor, because she knows he's fucking dangerous and powerful. But I don't think she's with him for real.
No, I think she will also hopefully work with Danielle. Like they'll realize what a threat he is now, and that he'll just kill a traitor and go, okay, well, we've got to get rid of him. So next vote, if like Wes is talking about getting rid of him, they'll be like, yep, we're on board, let's go.
Plus, with Survivor 50 on the horizon, this could be the start of some epic Carolyn Boston Rob rivalry that may continue onto another show, which I would love.
I would love to see that. I do love myself Carolyn. I feel like I need to go watch her season now, because I'm actually quite fascinated by her.
I would recommend it. Of all of the new era ones, hers was like doable. It's not amazing. None of them are amazing television, but her one was good. The good thing is they're short seasons, so you can kind of like
they're like what, 14 eps or something like that.
Yeah, if that, I think 12 or 14.
Oh,
it's a short game.
Beautiful.
Yes. All right. So next week we think, or we hope,
Rob
could go. Who do you think they will murder? Like who is safe? Like most of the people are safe.
Yeah, I think, well, unfortunately, it might end up being, because I feel like not a lot of the women actually got the shield, so it would be like someone in that realm. So, or if there's like, I don't know, I just wish that Derek didn't have one. I'd like him to go, but like that's just because I have no interest.
He's just not doing anything for me at all.
Yeah, maybe actually, to be honest, maybe one of the Bambis will get done, because I think they might want to, because those girls are so close and vote together, they might go, we want to break that up, because they're just going to follow each other the whole time. And they also didn't vote with them for Bob the Drag Queen, I think. So it'll be interesting to see if they target them.
I mean, they'll keep Nikki now because there's a little bit of heat on her.
Yeah, so maybe a Chriselle, or please not Gabby, but
God
save Gabby.
Yeah, Gabby has really come out of left field as one of my faves.
Fascinating.
Well, we'll see next week how it goes. Yeah.
And now we've got so much to look forward to. Girls coming back, more traitors.
So much. Overfloweth indeed. How are we going to keep up?
Not a time to be alive.